Hey, welcome back everyone. It is now April 24th of 2020, and ever since the release of Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker, a lot of fans around the world have been very intrigued about the future of the Star Wars franchise by Disney and Lucasfilm. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you are new to the channel for future Star Wars content. Now, the thing about Disney Star Wars is that we do know that as of right now, a lot of changes are in fact being made in order to create a better future for the Star Wars franchise by, of course, Disney's CEO Bob Iger and Bob Chapek. Now, I don't know if you guys knew this, but Bob Chapek is actually still the new Disney CEO. Bob Iger, however, is being used as a temporary CEO to really help out throughout this global crisis that's happening right now, unfortunately, and that's exactly what they're trying to do. Basically, what Iger is trying to do is that he's trying to get Disney as a company through this when it comes to the theme parks, the movies, the TV shows to arrive on Disney Plus, and more. So, when we look at the Star Wars franchise, this is a big one because this is a brand that really does need a lot of fixing, and one would argue on whether or not it really even needs fixing to begin with. A lot of fans out there would say that Star Wars should either be left alone and just put in the dust, or it really should be worked on and pretty much, just make improvements to this massive brand that we have seen since 1977. So, the thing about Chapek is that he's working closely with Iger. They're both working together as a team to really lift things up for Marvel, Star Wars, and other projects out there that are in fact associated with Disney. Now, on top of all of this, what's really intriguing is that now that both Disney and Lucasfilm are finished with The Rise of Skywalker, they are focused on their new Star Wars universe, also known as the new Expanded Universe by Disney and Lucasfilm. Currently, many changes are being made over at Lucasfilm by both Bob Iger and Bob Chapek, and in order to create a brighter future for Star Wars in general. Now, it's noted that one of the major changes is that Kathleen Kennedy will no longer have any control over the structure over the new layout of the roadmap of future Star Wars projects by Disney and Lucasfilm. One of the key plans by Chapek and Iger is to fire Kathleen Kennedy and let her go sometime later this year. That would go into effect sometime in 2021, where Iger and Chapek already have a candidate to replace Kathleen Kennedy already, and that they already have a vision for the next 10 years of Star Wars for Star Wars fans. Kathleen Kennedy is said to also want to leave Lucasfilm, and that even she herself has been planning to leave Star Wars due to her lack of power over at Lucasfilm. Now, one of the major changes is that creators Dave Filoni, Jon Favreau, George Lucas are all taking over to have creative control over all existing projects in the works and have been already in order to provide a better future for the Star Wars community. The reason Kathleen Kennedy even planned for herself to leave Star Wars is due to a majority of her agendas being driven out of the Star Wars movies and for the most of the upcoming Disney Plus TV series by Lucasfilm. And this is set to create a brighter future for the fans to enjoy Star Wars even more, and that Kennedy is said to currently be very busy with how Star Wars Celebration will be handled due to the global crisis. So the thing about this that really does interest me a lot is the fact that, obviously, a lot of positive changes are being made to Star Wars. We've seen this already with The Mandalorian, since Kathleen Kennedy had little to no involvement with that particular TV show. That was one thing that I think a lot of fans were very happy about, is the fact that, yes, Disney has the capability, they have the ability to develop a proper Star Wars project that feels like, well, Star Wars, and that's exactly what The Mandalorian is. Majority of that comes from the fact that Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni worked very well together, as writers and a director, and not just that also, but they used a lot of Legends content, and you can see all the Legends content in there if you're very much familiar with the Star Wars Expanded Universe from the 1990s and the early 2000s. So, without a doubt, this really is a positive change for Star Wars. The fact that all these changes are being made, to Kathleen Kennedy's power, and everything related to Iger and Chapek working together as a team, I think is also yet another big thumbs up here, and really is a plus, because it just shows us that whether it's damage control or something very genuine from Disney, either way, things are really reshaping for Star Wars, especially when it comes to the movies themselves and a handful of the Star Wars live-action TV series on Disney Plus. Do I agree with some of the TV shows that are being made? Not all of them. For example, There's a Cassian Andor TV series that I'm really not all that much excited for as of yet until I actually see some real footage or maybe even an official title, and maybe it'll capture my interest because it is going to be established as a Rogue One prequel. And if they can really make it, per se, less focused on Cassian himself and more in a general sense where Cassian is the character in the show, that I think would be a better approach. So, when we look at everything here for Disney+, this is going to be their library's worth of Star Wars content, and everything related to Kathleen Kennedy, she no longer has as much control, not just for the creative decisions, that she no longer has, but for the roadmap, the structure of the roadmap of the future of Star Wars is no longer in her control. And that really is going to tell us a lot as to exactly how these movies and TV shows are going to be laid out for the next 10 years. So anyways, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.
From night to moon, we hear them moans again.